go.
We are live.
Good evening. Welcome back to the tavern.
Yeehaw.
He's Jack, I'm Dennis, and we
Love the
humble hosts. Please stand for a pledge of allegiance.
We got another flag.
Like that, put it right in front of us. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No prayer today. Oh, my brother's home.
We're going to start doing the prayer at the end of the show.
Sorry, Mike.
Getting some feedback. Sorry, Mike. Jack was supposed to break it to you today.
I didn't know about it till today.
Today we're going to talk about the Inflation Reduction Act, and Jackson gives the IRS, and hopefully start a conversation at the end of the topic. And then the topic for that, on that, well, how fed up you are with politics and how we can change politics to represent we the people. So, oh yeah, we got involved.
My glasses are breaking.
Oh, that's all right. So please get involved. We feel it would be a great way to get some feedback from each other, and that's what it's about debate. It's about taking back our country the right way.
And we are going to do a lot of the comments at the end, like Dennis said, and we'll do the prayer and some of the comments at the end. Something that's really relevant to the topic at that minute. We'll go through that because we were getting some feedback, taking us a minute to get to the topic. We don't want to do that. No wasting time.
We appreciate your feedback.
Yes, we do.
It helps us get better, and we feel we're getting better. Last year, I couldn't even look at the camera, so we are getting
Wore a
better.
hat.
So let's get right into the Inflation Reduction Act. It's also known as the Climate Act.
Yeah.
Which was signed into law by the president, stating, with this law, the American people won, and the special interest lost. He states this law will cost taxpayers about $780 billion with money we don't have. Just print it. We can raise inflation to pay it back. That's their mentality. The law is estimated to raise revenue from several sources, like Medicare negotiation on drug prices, which is a good idea.
No. But if you read what it is, some of those drugs that are available now with that drug reduction, they're going to get rid of it.
Yep.
So you're not going to be, if you're on a certain medication that they don't feel like negotiating, you ain't going to get it.
See, the word that scares me the most is estimated. I mean, they have no clue. It's just they're guessing on what they'll raise. Eventually, they know constituents will forget about it and will be shafted again. And the funny part to me, Medicare is a federal program. The federal government gives taxpayer money to these drug companies. So our politicians need to set the drug rates. They should be able to dictate, no, we give you money. This is the amount you're going to pay. We're going to pay for drugs for American citizens.
But you don't want to know the thing of it is like this whole COVID thing. These drug companies wouldn't make, like, if Dr. Fauci did his job and said, listen, there may be a pandemic called COVID-19. We need a vaccine for it. The drug companies aren't making it because they're saying, listen, you're not giving us any guarantee that if we make this and spend the money on it, that we're going to get it and anybody's going to use it. So we're going to waste our money on it. Yep. So there's no guarantee. There's no insurance that we're going to get our return on it. So hence, the private industry doesn't make it because there's no guarantee on it. And yet they still got paid all tax dollars. To this day, how many people have paid for a vaccine? We all pay because it's coming out of tax dollars.
Our tax, yeah. Insurance companies are the biggest scam out there. They should not be dictating anything to the government when it comes to the well-being of us, of the United States citizens. Drug spray prices should be set by the government. They shouldn't. If you're getting free money,
and that's the thing too.
Pisses me off.
Again, we don't have any resources, but what you hear is that you go to other places in the world, the same drug is cheaper. How is that possible?
I'm one of the lucky ones. I have my VA. I can get my drugs when I need it. Most people don't have the VA. So I just want to run this by a 2019 article by Abby Meller and Hawa Ahmed titled, How Big Pharma Reaps Profits While Hurting Everyday Americans. Pharmaceutical companies receive substantial U.S. government assistance in the form of publicly funded research, basic research, and tax breaks. Yet they continue to charge exorbitant prices for medication. See, we have the right to tell them we're not going to pay that for the drugs. But then again, with all the corruption in Washington and these politicians in on Big Pharma, nothing's going to change. It's ridiculous. Nothing's going to change. This thing isn't going to raise. It's a bad bill from day one. Another part
I haven't heard of a good bill in a long time.
Yeah. Another part I'm confused with regarding this act is adding 80,000 IRS workers. How does that help with inflation reduction and climate change?
Yeah, well,
I'm still scratching my head on that one. It's crazy. Let that sink in. You know, they want to hire 80,000 more IRS workers to come after you. And this is really a climate change bill in disguise. We don't see how it's going to reduce any inflation. And it's only going to add more money to the budget. Salaries, medical benefits, retirement benefits. Where does it end for these new IRS workers? You know? How do they help with reducing anything? With inflation or climate and energy reduction? If I'm missing something, let me know, because I don't get it yet. Wake up, people. We're getting screwed daily, and we're not even getting a kiss from these tyrants. The bill is more of a Democratic wish list for climate change and energy. It's all it is, disguised. The rich are going to make more money, while the middle and lower classes end up paying more. That's how it always goes. But yet we sit around and let them do it to us because we're scared to get involved. This will not help families right now with high inflation. It helps politicians earn brownie points with their constituents with solar panels and full court press on electric vehicles. This administration does not care about reducing inflation. They just want to take people's choice away from them. That's what America is all about, choice. Freedom to live where you want, freedom to make your own choices. That's why we live in America. We have a right to choose gas over electric vehicles. We have gas over solar power and vice versa. When that right is taken away, we live in a dictatorship. And that's pretty much where we are right now.
you ain't kidding.
You know? That doesn't help with climate and energy reduction. It extends subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, especially tax credits, specifically tax credits being extended for 13 million people. I'm sure they need it, but how does that help climate change? It doesn't. We need legislation that will help all families, not just a specific group of people. That is how we build back better, not the Biden back better, through all the people of the USA. Not spending money we don't have. We have a broken system with the Affordable Care Act. It's not going anywhere, but yet our tyrants can't figure out how to fix it. In my opinion, they're a bunch of morons. They don't care. It's a disgrace. Republicans and Democrats of both parties are terrible. They look at you in the face on their TV, stare right at you and say, I'm there for you. Think about it. What have they done for you over the last 20 years? What have they done for your parents the last 40 or 60 years? Nothing. You know? All politicians on both sides suck. That's all I can say. It sucks. You know, but stay tuned. We'll see if any of these reduce inflation or help families buy $70,000 electric cars that most public garages won't let them use due to being a fire hazard. Went down to Charleston over the weekend, and we went into a garage, and that's what it said. EV vehicles are not allowed due to fire hazards. It's crazy. Again, wake up, people, before it's too late. We have strength in numbers. Join our independent Constitutional Party. Let us have a united voice and take back control of our government at the ballot box. We must stop being afraid of this government and push these political hacks out of government forever. Want to say anything?
Is it my turn?
Not yet, but go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
You're on a roll.
I'm on a roll.
Go ahead.
I'll end on this quote. I'll end on this quote from Thomas Jefferson, which fits great with today's politicians. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. There's a lot in that statement.
Amen to that.
You know, and Junior mentioned it earlier to us. So we also got the United States Constitutional Group, which is our biggest group.
Thank you for going there.
So we have almost 2,000 members on there. We're looking for more. And we've been letting it slip because we've been so busy with different things. But we're going to start putting up things that relate to the Constitution. There's a lot of historical documents that we haven't put up. We're going to start being better. I think every Monday we're going to put up a new saying from whatever historical document.
I got a notebook full of them.
I think today I put on the Declaration of Independence. I'm trying to get your feedback from it. Let us know what that declaration means to you.
Read it first.
That's what I said in my comment. Read it again and again.
Yeah. Read it first, then study it second.
Yep.
Teach it third.
Today we are all like God created us. He created this beautiful country. The devil's taking it away from us. We got to stop that. Paul Harvey, If I Was a Devil.
You're right.
If you've never heard that, listen to it. It's 3.5 minutes long. That'll open your eyes to a lot of things that's happening today.
Our Father who art in D.C.
Yep.
That's how.
And that's what this country's going to. Politicians want to be God.
And Paul Harvey was no right wing guy.
Nope.
No, he wasn't. But he believed in reporting the news. He did.
He was probably the last one.
Yeah.
Is there anybody today that just reports the news?
No.
Everybody gives their honest opinion. No, that's why I don't listen to these news media.
They don't give their honest opinion. They give their slanted opinion.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the IRS a little bit. But before I start the IRS, I think Washington, D.C. hoodwinked us again. Now, again, this bill that just passed would not have gotten through if the Republicans did not okay that $1.5 trillion infrastructure bill. Because if you listen to the politicians and the liberal side of the news, they are saying, I mean, it was straight down party line. But they're considering it a bipartisan bill because the Republicans gave them the first $1.5 trillion with infrastructure. Now, ask yourself, have you seen anything? I have not seen
nothing yet.
Nothing, not a thing. So if the Republicans would have stood their ground and did not let that bill go through, we would be there now, today, them fighting again just before this next election in 90 days. So here's how I think they hoodwinked us. Number one, the Republicans, again, the jellyfish party with no backbone, swam along with the Democrats and gave away $1.5 trillion of no money that we don't have. There's zero money to be taken. For the government to raise $1.5 trillion would take years and years. All right? But they got it. How'd they get it? They're just going to print it off. Now it's almost another $1 trillion. They think it's around $800 billion. So you know it's 1 point something trillion. We don't have it. What are they going to do? They're going to print it off. So remember what I said with that. They're printing this money. Print.
So they're going to pay it back through inflation.
Well, I don't think, listen, we ain't paying it back. We're just going to suffer. But the hoodwink is here. I think they were putting this stuff on the news. Now, we have this January 6th hearing going on, this masquerade. It's not a hearing. It's a masquerade. I don't know. I guess it's a nighttime soap opera. It's a nighttime soap opera. There's no cross-examinations. There's nothing. There's nothing backing it up. They're just saying, they're like us, just blah, 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 going on with whatever they want to say. And there's no repercussions to it. Unfortunately, they're running the country. So here's a little history to what happened on January 6th.
1 second. Liz Cheney lost by 30 points. Almost 40 points.
Yeah.
And she was part of that January 6th. Ridiculous. Mock court.
There's only two representatives left that voted to impeach Trump. One's from California, one's from Washington State, so they're not going to go anywhere. They're going to stay there.
Yeah.
The rest of them are all gone.
4 he defeated, 4 retired.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting blasted. They're getting showed the door. So this January 6th thing, now just hold on to me because I feel like this has everything to do with this bill and the IRS of what they're doing now. So the whole thing they're saying is that Trump didn't do anything on January 6th to stop this, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they're saying. They're saying Trump did nothing to stop this. So here's what I got. Wednesday, December 16th, 2020, U.S. Capitol Police learned about the protest. Okay? So 20 days before it happened, the Capitol Police knew about it. Saturday, January 2nd, 2021, Carol Corbin, nobody knows who she is anymore, and she's off the map. She was in charge of the DOD. Contacted Capitol Police Deputy Chief Sean Gallagher if they wanted the National Guard. Monday, January 4th, 2021, Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund asked Senate and House Sergeant at Arms, who are in charge of that, if they wanted National Guard. They refused it. DOD Inspector General Sean O'Donnell issued a report that confirms White House met with Defense Secretary and General Milley. DOD Secretary and General Milley met at the White House at 5:30 p.m. Secretary of DOD ensured sufficient National Guard would be there to make sure it was safe. They refused it. The end of Trump's speech was at 1:13 p.m. Quote, I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. We're going to the Capitol. We're going to try and give them, the Republicans, the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country. So if this whole January 6th charade is to arrest Trump for inaction, then both Sergeant at Arms, Defense Secretary, General Milley, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all should be facing the same thing. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay? The reason why they're doing this is so that they can pull off, the KGB can pull off Mar-a-Lago. They went there, the KGB took all kinds of things, and the press, again, comes into effect and does nothing. And while this is all going on, this bill is passed, which is going to give $80 billion to the IRS and give 87,000 IRS agents. And they say it's not going to go on any families under $400,000.
That's bold. It will.
All right. What did they say? There's 751 percenters in this country. You think you need 87,000 IRS guys to audit 750 people? And I got news for you. 535 people make over $400,000 in the Capitol building.
I heard this the other day.
Biden's son makes millions of dollars every year. I wonder if he's going to be audited.
So I heard this the other day, and I forgot where it came from. I forgot the guy's name. There was an FBI agent that was like one of the investigators for the Russia collusion. He was there for that. Just before the January 6th insurrection, whatever you want to call it, he got transferred to D.C.
No. This you didn't hear that story?
No.
So Michigan had, I think, 4 guys or 6 guys planning to.
Governor Winter was a hoax, yeah.
Right. So this leader of the division in Michigan, in Detroit, no, it was 4 of them. So 2 of them, they're innocent because of entrapment. So basically what they're saying is the FBI went like this. Here, listen, here's a gun. Go kidnap her. And they were like, wait, you crazy? We're just talking about that. No. You got to go do that now. 2 of them off. The other 2 missed trial. They're supposed to go back to trial, but their defense is entrapment. So the FBI. So now this leader of that division in Michigan, he was assigned in Detroit,
got assigned to Washington. DC.
Goes to Washington, D.C., and is in charge now of the January 6th hearings. So he didn't get in trouble, nothing. And Chris Wray didn't even know this guy's status when he was asked in front of the Senate.
And just before the raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago, whatever mansion, whatever you call it, resort, he got transferred to Florida just before that raid.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
I didn't hear that part.
Yep.
So anyway, I think they're doing this to Trump because they're showing. It's only a matter of time before you're going to see it on the news. Trump supporters, you see what we're doing to your guy? We just passed a bill. You see what we're doing to your guy? He's a billionaire, former president of the United States. He's got every resource there is in the world. You keep supporting that man. You're next because we have 87,000 new employees. Now, I have proof that these 87,000 people aren't going for anybody for over $400,000 a year income and higher. And here it is. You ready for this? 51% of the audits performed by the IRS last year was on people earning less than $75,000 a year. You don't think they're coming for you, folks? Again, are you afraid of your government yet? We have an opportunity in the first Tuesday of November to change somewhat. Again, we've been doing this for a long time, and we're hoping the people that listen to this really go to these campaign rallies and ask these tough questions. Because I tell you what, with these 87,000, if Republicans take it, unless they get the supermajority and get rid of that bill where it's enough votes where they can't get where they can't get the president to override it. It's law. It's not it's law. So if they don't get a supermajority in the House and a supermajority in the Senate, they can't change it. But again, 87,000. So what question should you ask these people running this midterm? You should ask them, what are you going to do about these 87,000 IRS guys that are coming to get us?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have hearings. Okay. And when you don't have any other resources because you didn't win the supermajority and you don't have the Senate because it doesn't look like you're going to win the Senate. Again, this red mirage.
Let's get real. When's the last time Senator, Assemblyman, House Representatives been in town to talk to local constituents?
I don't know. Ask Liz Cheney. She just lost because she never went back to Wyoming.
See?
The only good thing about her not winning that primary is she doesn't have to pretend like she lives in Wyoming.
When is your politician, come back and talk to you and got your opinion on it?
I asked Russell Fry, that's running, before he was running, when he was still a state legislator, how many times has he spoken to both senators, Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott, and at the time it was Tom Rice. I've gotten in touch with you since I've been in Washington, D.C. Zero. They never got in touch with a state legislator in their district right here. Tom Rice, this is his district. So is Russell Fry. Never spoke to each other about anything. Nothing. These are your representatives supposed to be doing your job in Washington, D.C.
So if they're not reaching out to those guys, they're not talking to you.
Well, I mean, again, you put that state representative in there, and for what? What's he doing? Russell Fry he's a lawyer. So he put judges on courts that he was going to try hearings on. He made tons of money on these judges. They had to side on his side. That's why I'm running. Because everybody knows I'm far from a lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have enough etiquette. I don't drink with my pinky up. Watch. I'll show you.
I think you're just playing you folks.
So
Here,
they do have powers. Because they can say, well, listen, we want written documentation that you're not going to go through anybody under $400,000, and until we get it, you're not getting paid. And they could do that with the KGB. They could do that with Dr. Fauci. They could do that with every single secretary and director of everything that they put in there. They don't have to pay. They hold the purse strings. But they don't know that law is there because 48% of them don't know the three branches of government, but they're running government.
You need to look at Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution.
Yeah.
It has duties and responsibilities of what they're supposed to do. These are their duties. They must do these things. So you show me where the Department of Education is there,
Right.
IRS is in there.
In the original Constitution, they wanted every single person in the United States was supposed to be taxed the same.
Mhm.
Woodrow Wilson, the first progressive president, changed that with an amendment, and now we have tax brackets.
You got to pay
Now-
taxes on, you pay taxes on your wages. When you go to the store, you got to pay tax. When you go to fill up your gas tank, you got to pay tax. When you go out to eat, you got to pay tax. But you've already paid taxes. You pay more taxes.
Remember, it wasn't supposed to be double taxation.
Well, it is now. Sometimes triple.
And here's the question, my last thing on the IRS, all right? When was the last time a domestic bill was paid? I don't think they paid World War II off yet. They just paid off World War I when I was an adult, married, and had kids.
How far are we in debt now? 30 trillion?
32 trillion, I think. Something like that. 30 to 32. It doesn't matter. It's monopoly
Who's
money.
going
at
to
this
kill
point.
that? Who's going to pay that?
So, but listen. So they're raising our taxes. They got 87,000 IRS agents to come after us. Last year, 51% of the orders performed were on people that earned less than $75,000. So what do you think that percentage is on 400,000 and less? 100? 100%? 99.9, because the only other person I know that was under audit was President Trump. So
You got to look in the mirror and think to yourself, how much more are you going to take? How much more are you going to let these clowns, these morons, these corrupt idiots, in my opinion, going to let them get away with what they're doing before you say, you know what? I have to stand up now for my family. You know, get off that freaking sofa. Turn off the damn news channels.
idiot box.
I turned it off for 4 months ago. I turned off the TV, the news. Just don't listen to it anymore. Do your own research. There's so much stuff out there. Like Jack goes to Hilldale College. It's free learning
About the Constitution.
about the Federalist Papers, about everything.
I did a class on federal papers. I did a class on the Constitution. Now I'm doing Constitution 101. I'll do Constitution 201. And the president in the Constitution, the role they play. And then when I'm done with that, there's a couple of progressive classes, how progressive come. But again, I like to ask questions. Here's my last thing on the IRS. And then I'll be done with that. So we haven't paid a domestic bill. Like I said, World War II is not paid for yet. Right? I mean, Pearl Harbor Day was 75 years ago or something like that. I mean, what are we doing here? We are printing money like crazy to pay for everything. Everything that needs to be done, they're printing money for. So my question to you folks is this. Why are we being taxed?
It's ridiculous.
Why are we being taxed if they're not paying any domestic bills and everything that they want, they print money off of? They don't need our money.
They
So why are they taxing you other than to make you suffer? And you ain't seen suffering yet. Wait until they let loose of these 87,000 people.
the Revolutionary War was fought for what?
2.5 cent tax on tea.
Yep.
2.5 cent tax on tea. We went to war. What? You're gonna? No, you're not. We're done.
Yep.
Now they're taxing us. They're taxing us so much money now, folks. We don't. This is make believe. You have no money. You don't have any money, because if you have money, and they find out you have it, they're gonna take it. There's got to be at least 6 books out there on how to defend your 401k, because that's what they're going to start taxing next, which they already do tax.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty hefty penalty if you take it out before you're 59 and a half. So God forbid something happens to you and you need that money. You can't have it. We are getting a big chunk of that. Just the beginning. So that's my thing with that. You don't think they're coming for you? They're showing you what they're doing to your number one guy, Trump. The Republican Party's not helping him. 51% of the people that were audited last year were $75,000, less than $75,000 a year. We haven't paid a domestic bill. probably since I've been born. And they're printing money like nobody's business. So why I don't know why I'm getting taxed. I want to know why. So when you go to the next one, when the Republicans running, and you go, let's say any one of these things, raise your hand and say, "Excuse me, you guys haven't paid a domestic bill in my lifetime, and you're printing money like there's no tomorrow. Why are you still taxing me? Where's my tax money going? Where is it going? If you're not paying the bills and you're printing money, where's my tax dollar going? You're not paying anything."
Well, they give money to all their cronies so they can earn money through the stock market.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, listen, and if you're buying gold and silver, don't buy stocks in gold and silver. Buy the gold and silver. That's my recommendation. I mean, I'm no investor. I can't give you advice on it, but I wouldn't buy any paper. I want to see some bullion in my mailbox, please.
So there's like 7 out of 10 people who are fed up with these two political parties.
That's why this party's right.
That's right. But we don't seem to hear from you. We know there's a lot of parties out there, but we broke it down for you before. The Libertarian Party is losing people. The Alliance Party, not in every state. Libertarian Party, not in every state. And I know it's getting tough. So if you live in South Carolina, get in touch with us. Because starting in September, we're gonna start going door to door and getting ballots to get this party off the ground.
Especially in this neighborhood, because this is where I'm going to run.
Yep.
So this neighborhood, if you're from this neighborhood and you're listening, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going to see this mug.
You know, we need 10,000 signatures to be recognized as a political party in this state. So we need your help. We need to get you to sign ballots. We need you to take ballots. We only request that you get like 10 people. Get 10 ballots, people on our ballot. And we'd appreciate it. But you got to stop being afraid. You have to get involved. Talk to your neighbors. Join clubs. Go to these meetings. I know it's tough. We're all busy. These politicians know that. They know they have us because nobody will stand together. But everybody here, are you fed up with politics? Yes. I'm fed up with politics. What do you want to do about it? Oh, I don't know. Just take what they're giving us. No, it's not the answer. So this week we want to ask you specifically, how fed up are you with politics? How do we get our government back to the people where it belongs? Mike, I know you're listening out there. So send us a message. How fed up are you with politics? And what do you see we need to do to win back this government? Well, we're waiting for Mike. Why don't you start?
Well, this is all I got to say after this, and then I can interrupt you all day long because this is what I do.
Awesome.
So to me, it seems like the Democratic Party is ruling right now, obviously. Even the Republicans they're on the same side. So basically, the socialist and the jellyfish, it's a socialist jellyfish party, is what it is. So they should have a big flag with a sickle and hammer and a jellyfish swimming away from it. Because that's what's running our country right now. And they're not running it like a representative government through a constitution. It's not even being run like a true democracy with direct rule by the people. We are way out of the loop. They are true tyrants, way beyond any civil type of governing. It's really time to go to the ballots and get them out of power. They do not believe in the Constitution. And I'm telling you, there's more and more jellyfish out there, too, that don't believe in the Constitution. They're swimming right along with the socialists. And they're not doing what they were sworn in to do. All right? They're not doing what their oath says. We have read the oath to you folks. And maybe next week I'll read them again. There's 2 oaths. One for the president, one for every other government employee in the nation.
Yep.
And the last time it was changed was in the 60s to get the communists out of the government. Well, they're back in it. Well, I don't think they ever got truly in it in the 60s, but they're in it now. And the Republicans, they're squishy, just like a jellyfish. You know, they get stepped on, they go right down. They're tyrants. They don't believe in the Constitution, and they don't uphold the oath of office that they took. It is time for the biggest check and balance in government there is, and that's us, the constituents. It is time to start checking these candidates that we are sending to do our job for us in Washington, D.C., and hold them accountable. It was a perfect example, but it's only one example with Liz Cheney. One. The senator in Alaska made, shame on you, Alaska. You allowed her to go to the next part of this election, and she's going to show up on the first Tuesday in November and win. This woman is not looking out for the Constitution of the United States. She is not looking out for the freedoms of her constituents. So we had one example of a person that didn't do the state's bidding that they asked her to do in Washington, D.C. She didn't do it, and she lost by a huge margin. This is what should be going on nationwide. And I'm telling you, the Republican Party doesn't have a plan. Like I said last week, they have a branch in there. They're saying they're going to drain the swamp. You cannot drain the swamp with swamp money. It doesn't work. So they're not really going to do it. They're telling you they're going to do it, but they're not going to do it. And they have 2 years to prove me wrong. And if they don't, and you voted them in 2 years, you should send them packing. And the next person sees that happen, and they may be, you know what, I'm really going to. It's a lot of work if you do it through the Constitution. It's hard. It's every day. They don't work every day. They go to cocktails every day. Cocktail party? Yeah, I'm there.
Surprised they're not all alcoholics.
They rub elbows with each other, laugh, yuck it up. yeah. And then
Republicans go out with Democrats go out with Republicans.
And who do you think's paying for these cocktail parties?
We are.
Who do you think's paying for these people to get elected?
We are.
These people come to you begging for your money so they can get elected and steal all your money again. They literally they ask you, give me your money so I could go do your job in Washington, D.C., and then they stab you in the back. Thanks for the money, sucker.
So I've been fed up with politics for more than 25 years. Year after year, we continue failures by these politicians. Do nothing parties. They lie. They give you misinformation. They don't fix any topic, any issues that we need fixed.
Oh, and in the news, if you heard last week's podcast, you know why the news repeats everything the jellyfish and the socialists say? Because they're getting paid out of our tax dollars. Dennis went over it last week. So they don't care if there's no commercials on their TV. They're still going to make $10 million a year. I don't care. I'm going to go and say something stupid like, we didn't take Trump's passports. He's like, what are you talking about? You did so. I don't got them. Then the FBI comes out, we get them back. How can you get them back if you didn't take them?
Right. So we have politicians in Washington, even your state, local, where you live, that hate America. They need to be removed from office.
Yeah, the squad. Bernie Sanders. Vermont?
I
don't know what's in your water up there, but something's wrong. You guys got to, please go and read the Constitution.
My cousin had to move out of Vermont.
You're lucky they didn't throw them out. I think that's a dangerous state if you have common sense.
You know, the funny part is they lie right to our faces, and most people accept what they say. The only way to change is to bring the political game to them. When you fight the political game, I honestly believe our party, the Independent Constitutional Party, if given a chance, can affect that change. What we need really bad.
Listen, folks, everybody who's listening to this podcast knows more about this government than the people running government.
You know, I've never been more determined about something. And this party will eventually go national. It started with Jack Jr. and I.
Yeah.
And we got almost 2,000 people on our United States Constitutional Group.
Yeah, Margaret jumped in first.
Yeah, we're starting to, build up on our other groups. So it just takes faith in God, faith in yourself, faith in your family, faith in your friends, determination, and I think we have all that. So we're just about ready to close up for the night.
Closing the tavern.
You want to give us any last thoughts? Last call?
Last call. The only thing I got to say is, listen, this country is fearing its, this country, the people of this country, the constituents of this country are fearing their government. And I'm sorry to say, we ain't seen nothing yet. It is all coming down the pipe now. I mean, again, you got Dr. Oz running as a senator in Pennsylvania. We got a 50-year-old guy that's been living off of his parents running as a Democrat. Hasn't said 2 words yet. So the Republican Party got Dr. Oz to beat in the primary. But the Republican Party's not doing anything to pull their candidates through the finish line. They're just leaving them. All right, see you later. Dr. Oz is losing by double digits in Pennsylvania to a guy that in his 50s still gets an allowance from his parents. This man has never had a job a day in his life. And he's going to win. Pennsylvania. Wake up. Look at who's running. I mean, Dr. Oz, I wouldn't even want him. But he's better than a 50-year-old mooch. At least he went and made his own money. He accomplished something, became a doctor. That's a great task. The successful TV, he's operated things. He's had small business. This guy, he has an allowance. And you're going to vote him in. You're going to vote him in. So, listen, if these are the people you're going to put into office, then you're making your children suffer. Your children are going to be put in the yoke. They're going to be working hard for the government. They're going to be taxed 90%. And you know where that money's going to go? To whoever's running the country. It's not going to go to pay domestic bills or foreign bills or anything. They're just going to keep printing useless paper, and you're going to take these scraps, and if your kid makes $90 a week, he's going to clear 10. So, listen, change it for the people that sit around your table at night. Change it for the grandkids' birthday parties you go to, because they're not going to have the future and the life that you had, because you're irresponsible and refuse to do the biggest check in government, which is your voting task.
Remember, you have to be the one to look in the mirror, look at your grandkids and your great-grandkids, and tell them you did nothing. Tell yourself you did nothing.
If you don't
afraid to get involved.
If you don't understand what this country was built on, and the Constitution of the United States, not the Constitution that's this big now because they put all kinds of nonsense and laws in it, the true 36 pages, well, it's your fault then, because it doesn't take a lot of time. Literally, the Declaration of Independence is on our thing. If you go on our website, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and every state's Constitution is on there. Every state representative is on there. That for Washington, D.C., not your state representatives. It's there. All you got to do is look at it.
Yeah, we'll update it in November, December.
All you got to do is look at it. And again, the Declaration of Independence, it's on there. Read it, then study it, then teach it.
Yeah, we need to hear from you. This is how we get better. We need to hear from you. Get involved. We all should have a voice in taking back our government. The Independent Constitutional Party is about giving everyone that one united voice to keep liberty alive. We ask you to do research. I can't be stressed enough. Research like your freedom depends on it, because it does.
It does. And I tell you what, the hard work is done already. The government was formulated in 1787. They did the heavy lifting.
And people who say that's what we're going to start doing little history lessons every week.
Yeah.
So the more you know about these politicians and how corrupt they really are, the sooner you'll join us, the party that saves America. Thank you for listening. Remember, knowledge is power. Margaret, put some stuff on there about how fed up you are with politics.
Yeah, she just traveled home. It was great to
Yeah.
see her. She came to see Dad.
So we'll see you next Thursday.
Good job.